Somehow 2021 is already coming to a close, and as always, I have to talk about my favorite films of the year. Yes, the title says best, but these are my personal favorites, and just a quick reminder, I of course have not seen every single movie of this year. There are a bunch of them that I have missed, and I will put those on the screen now because I haven't been able to watch them for many different reasons. Maybe they aren't showing in theaters near me, maybe I missed them because of COVID, and I've been very busy the past few weeks. So there are a bunch of big ones that could be on this list, could be even number one on this list that I missed. So I will update those on Letterboxd, or maybe post a video if there's stuff that's coming out soon, like Licorice Pizza, stuff like that. I know it's already out, but still, we have a lot of great films to talk about here, but I will start off with my honorable mentions. I have 5. So here I have Free Guy, Judas and the Black Messiah, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry, and Dear Evan Hansen. I know that last one is a little bit controversial. I really love all those films. Actually, a few of those were on my list until I watched some of these recent movies, and I have not talked about all these movies. I don't have reviews for every single one, but most of them I do. Let's kick it off with number 10, a film I just watched a few hours ago, In the Heights. Now, this was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I'm ashamed to say it took me this long to watch it, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, sure, it's long, but there's just so much energy behind it, so much charisma, and it's just so much fun to watch. So watching it here at home, I'm sad I missed it in the theaters, but that's because everything was locked down, so that's why it took me so long to watch it. But this musical really has a special story, and there's very important messages in it as well. Lin-Manuel Miranda has done it again, and this will not be the last time I talk about him on the list. Coming in number 9, we have Coda. Now, this Apple TV original film is easily one of the best of the year. I watched this on the plane ride to Costa Rica about a week and a half ago and was absolutely blown away. This is easily not just one of my favorites, but one of the best films of the year. It is your kind of stereotypical heartwarming story, but there is so much soul and emotion behind it, and it really hits you hard in the end, and it's also hilarious. Coming in number 8 is a film that I've moved around this list a lot, and I feel like in the future it will go up and down. I just need to rewatch it, and the reason I haven't is because it's 4 hours long. Yes, that is Zack Snyder's Justice League, or the Snyder Cut, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's just incredible that this is made. I'm very glad it was. Yes, I've only seen it once, and that was what feels like forever ago, but I absolutely loved it. They improved on every single aspect of that disaster piece in 2017 that we got, and it's long. Again, this is by far the longest film on the list, but there is so much power behind the film, and I don't just mean because it's a film about superheroes. There's just so much human nature in the film, and I think that's why it really connected with me, maybe even more so than other people. I know not everybody loves this one to like the certain degree, but for me, when I have the time, I will definitely be rewatching this one. Coming in at number 7, we have Tick, Tick, Boom, which features Andrew Garfield giving probably my favorite performance of the entire year. This film means so much to me. I didn't know anything about it going in besides it had Andrew Garfield, it was a musical, Netflix, whatever, and Lin-Manuel Miranda directed it, and he did a hell of a job. Everybody here should know that he's one of my favorite just creators or people or artists just ever. He's so good, and I hope he directs more films. If they're this good, then I'll be surprised. This one could even go higher up on my list once I rewatch it. There are so many moments in the film that have stuck with me, and there are lines from some of these songs that replay in my head every single day. I feel like this one is slightly falling under the radar, just a little bit, so if you have not seen it, check it out. Coming in number 6, we have The Suicide Squad. Now, for me, this is a million times better than the 2016 one. I think everybody else agrees with that. I was blown away by this movie. It had a total different take on all these characters, and I love it for that. I'm so excited for the Peacemaker show because he's one of my favorite characters here. I somehow haven't rewatched it since theaters just because I've been so busy, but I bought it the day it came out. I love this film so much. I know a lot of people will be turned off from the name because it says Suicide Squad in it, but this one is amazing. And Weasel is probably the greatest character ever. Bringing us into the top 5, we have Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond, No Time to Die. This film, it means so much to me for many different reasons. One of the main ones is this is the first Bond film I've seen in theaters, and it's one of the best ones for me. I haven't seen them all. I've only seen probably about 10-ish, which is still quite a lot. I don't remember exactly how many I've seen, but this one is up there as one of my favorites. The ending of this film, really risky, but for me worked. I know it didn't work for everybody, but for me, it hit me hard, and I loved it. The action is amazing. The acting is also so good. Daniel Craig will always be my favorite James Bond. He is so good here. Billie Eilish's theme song is top 3 Bond songs for me. Basically, everything about this film is incredible. Number 4, we have Dune. Now, Dune was one of my most anticipated films of the year. It comes from my favorite modern director, or at least director to emerge in the past decade, Denis Villeneuve, and it was different from what I expected because it is Dune Part 1 for those who don't know. So in that way, it shocked me. I knew it was going to be good, and the visuals, this is easily the best looking film of the year. It is incredible. Everything seems so realistic. The cast, this massive ensemble cast, really blew me away. Everybody is so good in this film, from Timothée Chalamet to Rebecca Ferguson to Oscar Isaac to Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa, just everybody so good here. Zendaya, even though she's not in it that much, I feel like I can say that now. Everybody is just amazing in this film. I feel like most of you have seen this by now, but watching this in IMAX blew me away. I'm so excited for part 2. Getting the bronze medal, we have Last Night in Soho. Now, Edgar Wright is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, and this is easily his most different film from what we're used to seeing. He really departed from what we're used to seeing from him, but for me, it worked all for the better. The first 30 minutes are very different, but as soon as it kind of finds its footing, it is mind-blowing. The visuals are amazing. The cinematography, color, costume design, everything, just so good. And again, the passion behind the camera from Edgar Wright is amazing, as well as some of the best performances of the entire year. Now, number 2, we have the one sitting behind me, A Quiet Place Part 2. This was my favorite film of the year for a while. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and everybody, they did it again. They made a sequel that is just as good, if not even better than the first one. And that first one is one of my favorite films of the last few years. I absolutely love this film. Maybe I like it a little bit more than everybody else because it was the first film I saw back in theaters after it was shut down for a while, and I managed to avoid spoilers and everything. This film holds so much power, just like some of the other ones, but in a very different way. It is one of my favorite horror films of probably the past 10 years at least. Maybe it is my favorite of the past 10 years. It is so good. I feel like most of you have seen it by now, but if you've somehow missed out on this one, you need to check it out. It is phenomenal. But coming in at number 1, you guys know what it's going to be. I've never actually, I don't think, had a Marvel film as my number 1 of the year until this year. And of course, that is Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm a nerd, so this one really pleased me. This film had every single thing I wanted in it, and it was dealt with so well. Fan service, sure, but done in the best way possible. The emotional scenes really got me. Tom Holland is fantastic here. Everybody in the film is so good. This is my favorite film of the year. I know I've gone back and forth on a few of them, but I've settled on this one being my favorite. I cannot wait to watch this one a million more times, and same with basically all the films on this list. All of these 10 films are some that I think are some of the best of the past few years, and my honorable mentions are good as well. I still need to see films like Licorice Pizza, Don't Look Up, Last Duel, everything. So a lot of those films could be on this list, The Green Knight, stuff like that, except I just haven't seen them yet, but I still have to put this list out, at least on the 31st is when it's being shot. I'll probably have to post it on the 1st, but anyway, I want to know what your favorite films of 2021 are. This was a surprisingly good year for film, but 2022 is definitely going to be even better. I cannot wait to see The Batman. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next year. Over and out.